Bring it!
Beware the gray. Oh my God. Composer was Carl Johnson. Carl Johnson composed this episode. And if that music this is a banger of a score for this episode.
Totally is. Even, and again with Shirley Walker's also. And yeah, I was like, I got to start off the show with that beautiful gray ghost theme. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Batman the Fan-imated stream. I'm, of course, Dave the Film Junkie, and with me, as always, Scott McClellan. What is up, sir? How you doing?
Doing okay. I've had a crazy day.
So have I.
Yeah, crazy days have been happening. The crazy days will continue to ensue. And let's just put it this way. Everyone's taking a nap now, which is like 2 hours later than normal nap time, if that gives you like any gauge as to how this day went.
Oh yeah, sounds like it was pretty eventful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, if you guys watched the vodka stream last night, you guys know I was up very early to help my uncle move, which was glad to do, you know, because he was changing locations for certain reasons and needed some help, so helped him out. But yeah, that was about 5-6 hours. Yeah, about 6 hours of doing all that, being up, trying to sober up, trying to do all that.
Good luck with that.
Oh, I know. It was, I think I was probably still a little woozy from last night's shenanigans. But yes, thank you for joining Batman the Fan-imated. We have a good episode. One of the best in
Top
the bunch.
five.
Top
five. Easy. I debate whether it even makes it into the top 3. Oh, Omari.
Yes.
Dude.
I watched it.
Dude.
I think when Adam West died, I was like, oh man, I want to watch this episode immediately.
The Saturday we found out he passed away, this was the episode. This is what I watched as a memorial to the man. Yeah,
Exactly. We agree, Sam. We agree. Good to see you, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
And we got Tarun. How you doing? Hey, we got Clayface in here. Oh, Clayface just watched episode Beware the Gray Ghost. I'm reading that in Ron Perlman's voice, by the way.
Oh, you better believe you better be reading that in Ron Perlman's voice.
Yes, exactly. And then, of course, we got Philip Barker. What's up, sir?
Hey, Philip.
And we got Mind the guys, I guess. That's how you say that.
Thank you.
Yes. And
hey, Michael.
Michael, how you doing? All right. I don't know if Mama Film Junkie is going to show up because she showed up at my uncle's. She might be still there helping him unpack and stuff, so she might not make it. She'll have to watch it later. But yeah, guys, Beware the Great Ghost. Yeah, like I said, this is one of those. I mean, we were just talking backstage, kind of going, did we even really need to take notes?
I didn't. I didn't take notes. I mean, it's like. Yeah. I know this episode, like I even debated whether I needed to watch the episode to get ready for today, because it's like, I know this episode backwards and forwards. Yeah. Like it is amazing of an episode.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, it starts off with that glorious theme that you heard at the beginning of this show. I mean, you get that title card and you get that, it's just, you hear it and that's it immediately. I mean, like I said, it's singed in. Uh-oh, did I freeze up? No, I didn't. Just trying to, oh, there we go. And just hearing that start off the episode. So uplifting. So great.
It's so 30s high adventure. Yes, like we were talking last night about that era of movie, like, you know, Rocketeer and Shadow and Phantom. Yeah. It's like the Gray Ghost. The cool thing about the whole concept of the Gray Ghost is they do it like it's almost a Shadow ripoff. You know,
because he's wearing a suit with a cape and some goggles and a hat. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And even like the little like beware, it's like knows what evil looks.
Yeah.
It's like that. But the cool thing that they play it into an inspiration for Bruce, like Normally, it would be, as we've seen, Bruce and his parents coming out of seeing the Mark of Zorro in, from the Monarch. So it's like so Grey Ghost kind of became the animated universe's proxy for these old pulp heroes that we know in real life inspired Bob Kane and Bill Finger to create the Batman.
Exactly. And just the fact that they got Adam West to voice him, and it was just so perfect. There's, there's stuff in here, in the clip I want to play, like, which will be coming up in a little bit here. It's just you kind of go, huh? Did Adam West like totally agree? Because he kind of was like, yeah, I kind of had these struggles after I did Batman where I could not get work because everybody's just typecasted.
This is a weird chicken and the egg question that I don't think has ever really been addressed. It's like, did they write this episode knowing they were going to get Adam West? Right. Did they write the episode and it was inspired by Adam West, and just by the fates they got Adam West to actually play Simon Trent? Like, I really want to know, like, did they write the episode and Adam West signed on, or was Adam West the actual inspiration for the character of Simon Trent? Because boy, does it feel like Adam West's life after Batman 66.
It really does. And that's what I was kind of thinking about when I was watching it again. And I'm just kind of, I wanted to know that question too, or I had that question too. And I was actually wondering if you had like any information on that in like any books or anything, but
no, I don't. And maybe if I went back and dug, if I dug into the Batman animated book that I've talked about by Chip Kidd, maybe there's like a story
something
or two.
There. Yeah.
But like, there's no commentary on this episode on the Blu-ray. Like, you would think this episode would have a commentary track. I mean, really,
right? And there is. Oh man, that's interesting. Oh yeah, and by the way, raise our cans to a certain someone who passed away who had a voice in Batman the Animated Series, Ed Asner. That's right.
Yes, he played Daggett. Roland Daggett.
Right there. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's Daggett. So yeah, may Ed Asner rest in peace. One of the Batman the Animated Series family. Right there, such a prolific guy. My God.
Oh, and then later on in the animated universe, coming back as Granny Goodness.
Yeah, there's that too. I mean, of course, Jay Jonah, he did that. So many. I mean, you just forget how much he did, how much that man did, and lived a full life, thankfully, which is good. He always hated when they died young, of course, but I think he was what, 91?
91.
91, yeah. So full life. So yeah, may he rest in peace. So yeah. So we get, of course, the opening, and this is what I love about the opening of this episode, because it kind of does. You see the opening of like you're watching an episode of The Grey Ghost. By the way, aren't they have like a comic book run a little bit, right, of The Grey Ghost?
Well, he does appear. Okay, there's lots of different things. Like he does appear in Sean Gordon Murphy's the Curse of the White Knight Harley Quinn series. Yeah. He appears in that. They actually made, to talk about the impact, when they were making the animated series line of action figures from DC Collectibles, they made a Grey Ghost figure.
Yeah, I need to get that thing.
Oh, trust me. There was a part of me that was like, because I don't really collect the I've collected select animated series figures, and there's a part of me that always looked at the Grey Ghost one and goes, you want that one, Scott.
Exactly.
You want that.
Hey, Todd McFarlane, you want to go ahead and make something? You can.
Oh, dude. If I could get a McFarlane Grey Ghost,
that would be
take my money.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying, just putting it out there in the ethers. See if like maybe McFarlane one day goes, hey, let's make a Grey Ghost figure. That'd be sweet. But it starts off, of course, with the whole Mad Bomber thing. But what I love about it is, you see young Bruce who's watching it, all dressed up on the floor. He's got his Grey Ghost doll, and we have his father, of course, reading the paper. And we know it's Kevin Conroy that does just a little bit deeper of a voice for Thomas Wayne. But
I know, and I always did love the fact that Conroy was also the voice of Thomas. Like that was great.
Bedtime after Grey Ghost, Bruce, and of course he's not paying attention. What I really like, again, I keep on saying what I really like is the fact that it does that parallel thing, because then
you see the episode and then you realize when you start to see what's happening in Gotham, they've already set up for you that this is a copycat.
Exactly. I mean, you have Piedmont Plastics that's in the episode, and then it goes to Gotham Plastics, and then even Batman and the Great Ghost do the same thing, where they see it in the distance on a rooftop, and then they just jump down as their cape goes whoosh, swoosh,
and the
like
the notes are word for word the same thing. And another episode. Now this is in Spectrum, and I still think Spectrum's like top tier, grade A. This animation is like, I'm not even going to say it's a step below Spectrum. It's just slightly a different style, but it's still like, it's up there with like the quality of animation for an episode. Like,
I was watching and I'm like, it's not quite where, it has been, but it's not terrible either. It's not Christmas with the Joker. It's not that. It's not that.
No, it's
not
still
that. Pretty good. It's still pretty, but at the same time, I'm like, but it's not Man Bat. I was like, interesting. But so we get that parallel, which I really love that. And then of course, when they show up at the bank and it blows up, Gordon shows up and then Batman shows up, swoops in, and then similar to what the Gray Ghost got was a note saying that this mad bomber wants $1 million or else he's going to blow up something else. And just doing that back and forth, I really like that. And I did not, which I'm glad just watching this again, because I totally just never pieced this together as many times as I watched this episode. Is I always kind of thought, okay, and maybe some people might think, well, Bruce, shouldn't he remember all this?
But I love the fact, that's what's so brilliant about the construction of the plot, is that it shows you in the flashback as a kid, he fell asleep. He never saw the end of the episode.
Exactly. For some reason, I just never really pieced that together until now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's why he doesn't know about this episode, because he fell asleep. And it's not like he could just watch a rerun. I mean, that was appointment viewing, and then you couldn't watch it again, And then they explained that, later on when he's trying to find episodes of The Great Ghost, they all the negatives burned up at the studio. Didn't they? What was the studio name? Was it Spectre?
It was Spectre.
Yeah,
right. And I like that. It was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Either like you want to think of it like the Spectrum Studios, or you want to call it the Spectre and think about like the DC Comics character. And it's so funny as I got older, and then as a Doctor Who fan, this just reminds me of why there's so many Doctor Who episodes from like the 60s that are lost, because BBC would air episodes and then trash the negatives. So so when you hear about something going up in flames and there being fires, it's like, no, that was like real world, like crap like that happened, where old TV shows
just lost.
It's
crazy. I mean, nowadays everything just is is a digital file now. But yeah, I mean, they explain that, of course, when Bruce starts looking for it. But of course, when all the when the back and forth is going on. But yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, that's why he doesn't know this, because he doesn't know what happened, because of the fact that he fell asleep. Because you actually see Thomas pick him up, and what does he say, like bedtime, or he goes like all gray ghosts go to or fall asleep or something like that. I forgot what he said. I thought I wrote it down, but I don't think I did. But then of course,
little gray ghost even needs to go to bed, or something, something like that.
Something very dad. Something
very dad.
Very dad. And then we get to Bruce, who's having a nightmare, and then he remembers like, oh yeah, the gray ghost, and it just kind of comes to me. He has that epiphany of like, oh okay, there's something that has to do with my old hero. And then we cut to where he's in the car, of course, Alfred driving, and he's got that TV in there, that
weird technology that you're like, you have a TV in your car that looks like it's from the 40s. Okay.
But that's what I love about this series, is the fact that it has that. I think I liked it too when like in Phantasm, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, they show the world of tomorrow, or the whatever the hell, when they
the world's basically the New York World's Fair,
yeah, they show that kind of world, and it's like that modern yet not futuristic kind of thing.
Okay, cool connection. This is our tangent.
Okay.
look at the world of tomorrow, and it basically is what they made Metropolis in Superman the Animated Series.
Thank you. Because I was like, essentially, it's Metropolis is what Metropolis looks like. Yeah.
Yes.
In Superman the Animated Series. Yes, I was totally thinking about that when I was having those thoughts of like just the way that things are, especially looking at the TV and everything. And so of course we got Summer Gleason on there talking about the Mad Bomber, and then Bruce has to talk to himself and say like, what does it have to do with my old hero? You know, that whole thing. You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not really talking to himself as much as because Alfred's in the car.
Yeah,
like you
could be talking to Alfred.
You could be talking to Alfred. I do love it though when they go to. I think it's also interesting how collectors get depicted in this episode.
Yes. Fat, balding guy with a soda with like 2 straws. Like,
oh yeah, it's my life. Of course, I also love the very subtle visual humor of Alfred going.
Yeah,
and even to the point like he like takes the handkerchief and like starts wiping down the counter. I'm just like
oh, wow, Alfred never turns it off, does he? Never turns it off. But yeah, it's funny too because he goes like, yeah, this is my life. You know, I have every episode that's ever been made. Blah blah blah. And he talks stuff. Gray Ghost. Oh yeah, name something else. It's like, of course, you don't have the one thing that Bruce Wayne is looking for. And then he explains, of course, what happened, what we just talked about, how the negatives burnt up 20 years ago. So nobody has any copies anywhere. Well, nobody has copies of the episodes of the Gray Ghost. So then Bruce goes to the library. Man, to tell you what.
Oh, it wasn't the library. It was the Television Actors Guild.
That's right. It was, yeah. So he was going Television Actors Guild. So he's just looking through books, trying to find. He's just like, so many actors. It's like, oh yeah. There's a lot of actors, Bruce. There definitely is. I know you don't watch too much TV and movies, probably. So maybe he's just like didn't realize that there is so many actors like that. But so then of course he finds Simon Trent. That's when we realize who the Gray Ghost was, Simon Trent, and it just so happens he lives in Gotham.
Right. But even before then, I like how we got sort of subtly introduced to him because like he's, we get introduced to him by his landlord yelling at him.
Yes. And this is the clip I wanted to play right here.
Oh,
because this is where we get our introduction. And you just, all in one scene, you just see where this guy is at. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And it's a really good scene with the score and everything. And
because it's almost like they play the Gray Ghost theme in like a minor key to like really emphasize, like it's like Simon Trent's theme is this sad, lonely version of the Gray Ghost theme.
So here it is right here.
Trent! You hear me?
It's just that cliche asshole.
Trent, I know you're in there. This ain't no homeless shelter. Pay your rent or get out. Lousy has-been actor.
And he's just looking at his collectibles. It's down on his luck. Look, yeah. You could hear the theme right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's slow and it's minor key.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
And then he's like, it's like he's trying to cheer himself up with the plane, and then he gets the call from his agent.
Yeah, it's me, Si.
And that's Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.
Yes, I was about to say, I was like, that's Ephraim, right?
I need to work, Frankie. Get me something. You're my agent.
See, Adam West just kills it, man.
I really do. But they still think of you as the Gray Ghost. Those who remember.
I can do other parts.
What a dick.
I'm an actor.
I know, son. Hey, we've been through this before.
And doesn't this just sound like Adam West's life right now?
Yeah, it kind of does. That's why you have that question of like, I wonder if this is what he had to go through somewhat. And you just look at the character that just like everybody just sees you as that.
Those who remember. Like that little dig from his agent. It's just like
he just starts trashing with him. To the point where he even lifts up this big heavy, like, careful, man.
So tragic. I mean, once again, this is a kid's cartoon.
Exactly.
And we're dealing with the idea of, unfortunately, for actors, that story is more common than not.
Yeah, that's what's sad, and it kind of gave you like that introduction as a kid. You're kind of like, oh my god, hey, she did make it. What's up, mom? How
Hey,
you doing, mom?
mama.
She made it. She made it home. She survived. Uncle Larry let her go. Anyway, so back to the episode. So yeah, we get that. It's just such a good scene right there, and you know, we just see where he's at, and the fact that it's like, yeah, he's just down on his luck and he needs to work, trashes his place. And then we get over to Yester Toys. I actually kind of like that name.
I
Yester
do
Toys.
like that name. I've
Yeah.
always liked that name. And then,
Yeah.
of course, we get introduced to, I never bothered to learn his real name.
No.
Ted Dimer, I think it's like
I have no idea.
Yeah, like if you look at the credits,
It
the
says his
actual
name.
give his name, but then it's funny who the voice.
Who's the voice?
It's Bruce Timm.
Oh shit!
Not only is it his voice, look at his character design, Dave. It's Bruce Timm.
It is him, huh? Jeez, I didn't even think about that either. Holy crap. Oh man, that's crazy. Well, that's cool. There you go. See, this is what you learn on Batman the Fan-Imated Stream. Right there, little stuff like that. And I was hoping, I was like, I was gonna look it up, but I always like the reveal. I always like it when you give the reveal of who's the voice and then certain little things like that. I love it. So then we get we're at Yester Toys, of course. We get that. Did you see like the little Easter eggs?
Oh, I saw Forbidden Planet because I saw Robbie the Robot.
Yeah. Creature from
Well,
the Black Lagoon.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Creature from
Okay.
the Black Lagoon is also spotted in there too. Probably some other things too. I should have probably like paused it and looked around. But yeah, I was like, cool, nice little Easter eggs that are floating around in that little toy store. And then you know, so Simon, so down on his luck, he's got to sell his original Gray Ghost costume. And of course, whatever his name is, Ted. What'd you say his name was again?
I think it was like Ted or something like that. Like
he's all excited because, you know, he loves his stuff, but then he says he can't give him much because the Gray Ghost merch is just not selling. And then pan over just to put more salt on the wound.
Oh
it's
my
like,
god!
yeah, buddy,
like lemon juice
your
from that paper cut. Yeah,
yes.
it's like it's on sale and it can't even move.
Yes, it says save sale, and it's just like nobody's buying, and it's just like that's got to be another kick to the pants. It's like, not only can I not get work because everybody looks at me as Gray Ghost, but not even people want the Gray Ghost. Like, what the hell, man? I mean, it just adds more to it. And yeah, it's just like I said, just like salt in the wound. So then, you know, he gets back to his apartment. You know, everything, of course, he's pretty much just gotten rid of everything. What does he say? He goes, well, that's the last time you're going to pay the rent, old friend. Doesn't he say something like that?
Yeah, that's exactly what he says, because he basically finally pawned off the last of his collectibles, basically saying, I've got nothing left to sell. Like, literally, I have nothing. Like, I need a job now, or like, because I've got nothing to pitch in, to pawn, to pay my rent the next month.
Yeah. So, I mean, that must really suck too. Where it's like, just the fact that, I mean, that's the stuff that did make your career, even though it was a curse to your career, and then you have to use it to pay your rent. I mean, good Lord, man.
But once again, very common. Like you just said that, way too common in the entertainment industry.
God,
it's this weird typecasting thing, and I love how the episode, even though it's for kids, is a weird meta commentary on the industry. It's like,
it really is.
Look what you've done to
some people,
to countless actors who get really big on one role, and then for some reason, casting agents, directors, whoever, it's just like, I'm sorry, we don't believe that you're actually actors who can play other roles.
Exactly. And again, you kind of just want to go, was this what Adam West was dealing with? You know, because you could, if you walk up to somebody like, name something Adam West was in, what are they going to say? Obviously, they're going to say Batman. I mean,
I'm going to be frank. I can't name anything else.
Exactly. That's the thing. And it's not that he was terrible. He was a great, you know, he was good looking dude. I mean, he's you know, he had that actor's persona. He looked like a movie, like an actor, like an.
Oh no, he was he had like the jaw, the look. I mean, and he got the ladies. Let's be honest.
you hear some of those behind the scenes stories. It's like,
oh yeah. I've
Uh-huh.
read some of the stories. I watched that Return to the Batcave movie they did in like 2003.
Yeah, I watched that, and they talk about sometimes where it's like, yeah, ladies definitely like the guy, that's for sure. So then, after he does that, he just falls asleep in his chair with his window open. And I'm like, do you really want to keep her? I mean, I guess he's got nothing really to steal anymore.
But it's Gotham.
Yeah, it's Gotham still. But there's something kind of. I mean, maybe it helps him sleep because you hear the police sirens in the background.
You get the breeze.
The breeze. It does seem kind of relaxing, even though it's like a pretty really rough neighborhood that he's living in. And then, of course, Batman being Batman. And I wonder, it's kind of funny. I think I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about this episode and I was remembering this part where Simon wakes up and everything is back. The poster, glass is restored. The costume is there. And I was just kind of going, okay, so when Batman does this, is he wearing his cape at the same time? Because it seems like the cape can end up getting in the way and making a whoosh sound or something like that. Does maybe he like take it off and just to make sure that he doesn't wake up the guy's in the chair? Stupid stuff like that.
Well, you know what I think about is that he spent all the money because you got to think that Bruce went to Yester Toys, dropped a load of cash to buy
all of it.
And then I'm wondering, so now that the stuff is actually sold, could Simon actually like go back to Yester Toys and actually like get a cut?
Yeah. I even thought about like, I mean, if things still didn't work out, could he sell it again?
Or something I thought about that too. You're not wrong.
I'm like, yeah, that could be it. But luckily at the end of the episode, I don't think he's going to have to do that, which is great. So of course there's a letter on the costume from Batman telling him to meet with him. And, so he does. He goes out there, meets with him, and he approaches him. And I love how Simon's like, you, just gives him that you. I always love that in like movies and shows. Like, especially if like a bat, it's like you, because they know exactly who it is because, big brooding guy dressed as a bat. So, of course, Batman approaches him and then Trent starts running away, but you can't run away from Batman. He just,
especially when you're old.
Yeah, you're an older dude.
You're an older dude.
I mean, yeah. You're not going to get away from Batman. And sure enough, he does. And then Batman basically just starts saying like, hey, some stuff's like, there's a bomber out there. It shows him the note and goes, hey, things are it's happening just like an old episode of The Great Ghost. And, it's just funny, just having that realization that, yes, that's, of course, Bruce didn't see the end of the episode. This made me enjoy it just a little bit more. Cause I'm like, yeah, of course he'd be like, you got to remember because I fucking fell asleep. I was like, I don't remember this episode. Damn it. I can't find it anywhere. Like, what the heck, man? So I just kind of I love the fact that I have like a newer appreciation for it. So then after he tells him that, well, then of course we hear the sound of the remote control cars and Simon.
I love the fact that we still don't know what they are. Like we haven't even found out that they're the remote control cars yet.
Another beautiful thing about this episode is like you hear the noise and you're like, what is that? We don't find out until Bruce actually watches the episode.
Which doesn't happen until after this sequence because you also see that look on Simon's face where he's like he recognizes the noise.
And then Batman's just like, well, there's an art school right there, pushes them into the alleyway and boom. And it's like, oh my God. And then Simon just runs off again. And, of course, Batman wasn't going to like full on chase after him because he's like, well, shit, this just blew up and he's probably going to make sure that, Gordon and police are going to show up. So then we go back to Simon's apartment. Batman, of course, is there. And I love the fact that he just drops the costume and it falls out. Like, the goggles and everything. I just a little bit of a dramatic effect of just on the ground and it falls out. And so then, of course, Batman just starts, asking him for help, just totally asking for help. And Simon wants nothing of it, but he does go into his closet. And this was interesting, like, another question I had too, because obviously he was selling his merch to pay the rent. And I'm just kind of going, well, man, how much would those episodes go for? If there's,
I know it seemed like that was a bridge too far for Simon.
Yeah. Like he didn't want to get rid of those episodes. Like the merch is one thing. It's like, yeah, face plaster, but this is the actual work that I did,
Yeah. And you've got the sense that he's got to know, or does he know? Like, that's another great question. I feel like he's got to know that he is in possession of literally the only extant copies of those episodes.
Exactly, and it's all in his closet. And then I actually want to go back and look at some of the titles of
the
those.
episode titles.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, funny thing. Easter egg. Guess what episode the Mad Bomber was?
Which one?
18.
Oh, but of course. Yeah, makes sense.
The episode number for Mad Bomber is production order, the number of Beware the Grey Ghost.
There you go. See, look at that. Little details like that. You got to love it. But yeah, I want to go back to see. I think there was something that said like, oh man, it had card in it. And I think it was talking about playing cards. So I'm kind of wondering any correlation to like a Joker type character or something like that.
I'm sure there's Easter eggs all in those episode titles.
One of them said earthquake on it, and I was like, I don't know. Okay, interesting. That's the only one that I saw. That
could be a No Man's Land reference. That would be
could
fun.
Could be.
Even though I think No Man's Land happened after, like was after, but still, it's like
it's nice to think about it like
it's nice to think about, yeah.
Right. So then he finds the episode, and he just basically he's like, here, get this and leave me alone. Like he just wants nothing of this, which. What I like about that too is just like he's out of work, he's just down on his luck, and he just wants nothing to do with like this whole thing. I mean, it's almost like Batman is bringing him back into it's like a meta thing almost, because it's like he played this character, and now Batman's trying to bring him into a situation in real life that he has to like go back into that world, and he just wants nothing of it,
Oh boy, and the burn that Batman gives at the end, where he's like, when I was a child, I watched Greg. I love that line. When I was a child, I watched Grey Ghost every night. Every night with my father. He was my hero. I'm not
the Grey
Ghost. I see that now.
Yeah. Well, what he also says too is like, I had the line written right here too. Fuck, I forgot. I'm like trying to find it here. But he also said, I used to admire what the Grey Ghost stood for. Yeah, that's what he also said too. So there was also that little part of it. Oh man, and it was like he says that, and then when Simon says that, and he goes like, and he just tells him, I see that now, and it's just like, just to add more to this. It's like, but then at the same time, that line right there probably caused a little turnaround for Simon. He was like, wait a minute. Why am I running from this? Maybe I should not be running from this. I should be running towards this. This could be, I've been too busy trying to run from this, and now maybe I should be running towards it. That's what I think.
And Dave, can you keep on talking for a second? I need to bounce for a quick second, and I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. I'll keep on talking. But yeah, I think when it comes to this episode, I mean, they really do a great job in 22 minutes too, by the way. It's like 22 minutes where they really establish how down on his luck Simon is, And I think they kind of pretty much nail it. And I think, like I was saying right here, this was the turning point. It took Batman to really just kind of call him out when he was just saying like, hey, when I was a kid, I used to admire what the Grey Ghost stood for. And then he's just like, I'm not the Grey Ghost, because that's what Simon's been saying probably for the past few decades is, I'm not the Grey Ghost. I want to be something else. Like I can act, I could do anything I can to just continue my career. And now that he's being pulled back into that world, like in reality's terms, a Cape Crusader, now he's just like, no, just leave it. But I think when Batman kind of just, put a little more salt on the wounds, I think it kind of made Simon go, okay, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I should be running towards this a little bit more. I don't know. But man, I tell you what, there could be like they could totally, I mean, like that's why I asked Scott, because I've seen that there's a little, hey, Callum showed up. Yeah, he was like, I want to talk Grey Ghost.
This is my little Grey Ghost.
Yeah, there you go.
You see Uncle Dave? There's Uncle Dave.
There we go. What's going on? Hi, Callum. Yeah. So, well, I was just saying, I mean, I was like leading into the fact that, I kept on saying like how this episode did such a great job of just establishing Simon in such a short amount of time. We just
and we never see him again. Like that's what's
true.
amazing.
I know. I mean, that's what happens when it comes to these shows. It's like, sadly, we don't see him again, but we hope that he's doing well. But so then when Batman leaves, let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah. So then we get to Bruce. We're back at Bruce, and I love the fact that when Bruce, like when Alfred puts it on the projector and he starts watching the episode, and the theme comes on, Bruce is not sitting in a chair. He's sitting on the ground like he's a kid again, but he's like leaned up against the table.
Oh
yeah. I love.
No, he's in a chair. He's at the table.
He in a chair?
Yeah, he's in a chair. What happened? No, this is a beautiful shot because I love the fact that Alfred offers him a bowl of popcorn, so he can watch popcorn with the episode, and then the camera zooms into Bruce's eye, pulls back to reveal a young Bruce, and then does this glorious animated 360 camera shot around young Bruce dressed up as the Gray Ghost with his Gray Ghost toy, and then zooms back into his eye at the moment where older Bruce is finally seeing the part of the episode he missed as a child, because that was when he fell asleep.
Yes, it's so good. And I love the fact that Bruce has like that, that smirk on his face. He's just kind of smiling because it's like he's got that nostalgic look on his face. And even when Alfred offers him the popcorn, he doesn't even look away. He just he's just like, he's totally in it. And but yeah, like I said, that is a very beautiful shot, that transition back. And then the fact that he just goes, there it is, that's the noise. And then all of a sudden you see what it is, and he's just like, you got to be
kidding me.
It's like, really? Remote control cars? Can't be that. And then of course he tells Gordon, like, hey, so yeah, it's remote control cars. So at the Gotham library, you better be looking for those. And so then of course we cut to the Gotham City library where Gordon and everybody is just kind of waiting. They're waiting. They know what to look for this time. And this is actually a pretty cool scene because then of course, the cars start showing up. And then this is where we kind of get a glimpse of who's behind it. We don't exactly see him. They do a good job of just like, but you see the back of his head. You see him like doing his controls and, the big screen. And of course, Gordon sees him. And then it's like a pretty intense scene because then it's getting to the point. See, even Callum likes it. He's like, yeah, Mad Bomber. No, but like, so then they start firing at, everybody just starts firing at the cars. And of course, they're getting by, obviously. And then I love the fact that Batman kicks open the doors with
flamethrower.
Dude, he just freaking kicks open, just I'm like, yeah. Which is like, I totally forgot that he had a flamethrower. I was like, man. Yeah, it's just I
talking about the score too. Like I love the score for the cars. It's like like this is, like I said, the entire episode score from Carl Johnson, start to finish. Everything is just a banging episode. Like this is an amazing episode, start to finish.
Yes. And, of course, they're trying to get rid of all these cars. And then Batman goes after one of the cars. And it basically it turns over. It's on its it's not on the wheels. So he's able to like grab it. And then he opens it up and there's no bomb in there. He has no bomb in there. And he's just like, a decoy? There you go. Hold on to stuffed Batman. There you go. There you go.
No, of course not. Well, and then I will admit though, this is one part of the episode that kind of goes like a bridge too far for me.
Yeah,
is like Simon in the Gray Ghost costume on the roof dropping a rope. It's like, dude, okay, you're an actor.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could start really questioning that a little bit because it's like, so there's like a decoy one pretty much, but then all of a sudden it's like it's that cut to commercial moment where
it is
you hear the and then it's like and then all of a sudden it's like, how does Batman get out of this? Well, Simon drops a line and they blow up, and it's like it's pretty. I mean, it's close call. It's a pretty close call, but it's a cool shot too when he like sees who did it, and you see that kind of blood moon in the background.
Yes.
You see that shot of Simon, and it's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're first off, you're like in your 60s. And you didn't really do this stuff. But then again, maybe he did. Who knows? Maybe he did a lot of that work. I don't know. But still, yeah, you could really
Yeah,
start
that was the
nitpicking
one
it right
part.
there.
But that's also cool because there's that great moment where you see Batman getting to work with Grey Ghost, and they're both having like their detective moment.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool. It's like it's even got the Grey Ghost brand name. You know, it's
Yeah, they're doing that detective stuff, and then he's like, "I'm gonna go back and analyze it," and then all of a sudden, Batman's just like, "Hey, Grey Ghost, want to give me a hand with this?" And then, of course, he's like all about it. So then, when they approach the Batmobile, more cars start showing up. So then, of course, we get this intense. And I always love it too, how like there's really like when you just hear that noise, that's all you hear. There's no music, there's no nothing. You just hear the, and it's even like a cool shot where they're both like looking out, and then he's just like, drive, it's just a cool, I don't know, I really just dug that. And then the fact that Batman of course is like maneuvering and then tells him to hit the green button, and oil comes flying out to just cut. But then at the same time, I'm like, geez, you gotta be careful, you're gonna end up killing somebody. It's like they're blowing up parked cars.
the collateral damage in this episode is a little intense.
It's a little intense, and they get away with it. And Simon's all about it. He's like, oh, we did it, partner. He's all happy about it. And then of course they go back to the Batcave, and we find out that Bruce modeled the Batcave from the Grey Ghost's lair, and he's like almost an exact replica.
Yeah, that was the one part that was just like really.
Yeah,
that was a little.
Grey Ghost need a cave.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But basically, seeing that Bruce had like his own like little man cave inside the Batcave was kind of funny.
Yeah. He's like, get me to that microphone that Callum's trying to do right there. No, but I like that though, because we see like his collectibles, and I love the fact he's just going for that microphone. I love it. I love the fact that there's a poster that is exactly like the poster, the end credits where he's like, where it's like just like the silhouette and the background, and he's like, you just see the eyes. It's like exactly like how it's so meta. This episode is very meta when it comes to a lot of the stuff that we see when it comes to the merchandise. It's very, very meta, and I just kind of like dug that right there. It was like, oh yeah, that's like the shot of Batman at the end credits of every episode. So then of course he shows him all that, and just kind of blows his mind and everything. And as he's showing him all that, he's kind of confessing like, hey, yeah, he was my hero and all this stuff. And then of course they analyze the fingerprints that are on the remote control car, and it's kind of an intense moment. It really is like, it's one of those kind of like shocking, almost intense moments where it's like, we find the fingerprints and they're you. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so Scott's taking another break, because it looks like Callum's getting a little fussy. But I mean, another thing that's really good about this episode too is like, we're seeing Batman. Everybody looks at Batman as like a hero. That's what I said. It's like very meta. This episode's very meta, because you'll see, with the collectibles of posters, even the poster that was in Simon Trent's apartment kind of resembled like stuff that, Batman posters that we see. So there's like a very meta approach when it comes to this. And the fact that Bruce Timm voiced the bomber, I mean, it just all makes sense. It kind of comes all full circle a little bit. You could tell that there was just, when they came up with this episode, they were really trying to go for that meta effect. And there's just so many pieces that came together with Adam West and everything. But I love the fact that when Batman brings it back to the Batcave and shows him his little collection in the Batcave. So now we know in the animated series Batcave, guess what? There is a closet or like a room that has Grey Ghost merchandise, collectibles, and all that stuff in there. Yes. There you go. He's got the bottle now. He's good. That's all he needed was a little bit of drinkage.
Oh yeah, we all need a little liquid refreshment.
Exactly. Now,
but does get really intense, because you're like, wow, Batman turned on him really quick, because he doesn't really know.
Yeah, and he does that Batman thing where he's just like, I'm just gonna walk towards you and start saying that, and he goes, and he basically is just like, he's like, you knew how the episode played out. You had this, you that, you had the only copy, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden Simon goes, no, it's not. And then all of a sudden he realizes, that guy, Yestertoys.
Oh yeah, I also love the fact that when we get revealed to the Mad Bomber at Yester Toys, that he's beating him with like a Batman toy.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah,
Batman the Animated Series.
yeah, he's like slamming it down. Yeah, again, this episode is very very meta when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And so of course, he shows up. Batman shows up. Alarms trip, and we see Batman down the hall. And I love it because he does that classic villain explanation thing.
Oh yeah, he monologues. He
Totally
monologues.
Yeah.
And then I love the power of the toy. And money. Oh, can it eat money?
Yeah. Then I realized you could put a bomb in him. It's just stuff like that. I mean, or he's all. Then I remember a classic episode of The Gray Ghost, and he starts talking about what he could do when it comes to what he could do with these toys. You could tell he has like an obsession with these toys. Like it's totally an obsession of the toys. And even what I was saying is like, I love the fact that you mentioned that Bruce Timm was like the voice of this. There's just so many pieces of this episode. And then of course, when this is all happening, Gray Ghost just crashes through the window to take him out, which is, again, we can go back and be like, hey, seriously, like, you were an actor and you're 60 years old and you're gonna go crashing through a window like Batman? I don't know, sir. There's something. You might actually like hurt something right there. That might actually hurt. Him crashing through the window and taking him out, essentially. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. It was one of those moments again where it's like, dude, you're like a 60-year-old.
You're not actually a vigilante, dude. But like, seriously, like, can we chill out a little bit?
But it's still pretty cool, I guess.
I know.
And then of course, we got the cars. Of course, he activated the cars, and then they grab him, get him out. Place blows up, and then we see. I mean, he loses his shit.
Oh my God! Does he lose? No, my toys,
my beautiful toys. And he got tears in his eyes and everything. It's like we really get a sense of like this guy just never grew up. Not only does he look like. Yes, I know exactly, Colin.
That's exactly how he felt. Like that was his reaction at the end of the episode, like a crying baby.
Yes, a perfect impression right there of what the Mad Bomber said right there. And so the place blows up, and he does all that, and then of course we get the newspaper thing, like the front page news that Batman and the Gray Ghost take down the Mad Bomber. So now Simon's life gets reinvigorated, and this is where we saw him just hit rock bottom, and now we see him kind of going, I got to run towards this, not run away from it. And now they're mentioning, like Summer Gleason's mentioning that when that they're now doing like a release of all the Gray Ghost episodes on video, because Simon has them. So now
exactly. And you know what that felt like to me, retroactively? It was like in like 2010, 2011, when they finally released Batman 66 on home video, because Warner Brothers and Fox and ABC, they finally got all those rights negotiated, and we got that glorious complete Blu-ray box set of Batman 66. Now that event at the end of Gray Ghost feels like the day that those episodes finally came out. And so there's just like, it was almost prophetic in the moment of us going, yes,
yes, there it is.
Finally get this show to own.
Yeah. And then of course, so then there's people are showing up. There's a big, huge line. We got Simon Trent. You got like a People magazine, something going on in the background where it's like now he's like, he's popular again. People are like showing up, and it just comes full circle because now that he is not running away from the Gray Ghost anymore, now he's like leaning into it. Now there's like, he's all of a sudden he's just like a star again. And then of course we have Bruce that's in the line, and he goes, make it out to Bruce. And he goes, all right, Bruce. And then, of course, he signs it. And then as he's walking away, Bruce says, like, as a kid, I used to watch Gray Ghost with my father. He was, and he goes, and it's almost right there where Simon goes, Bruce Wayne's Batman. I think.
Oh, no, he totally did. He's like, oh, really? And it's like, and the whole point of that was for Bruce to give him kind of that, I want you to know something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
okay.
okay.
I trust you. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to tell you, every time he goes, when Bruce has to deliver that line, I used to watch Grey Ghost with my father. He was my hero. And, and he does a whole, I'm going to tell you, even today, will you stop it? Even today, I get choked up.
Oh, yeah.
Especially since Adam West passed away. That chokes me up every time. Especially when he goes, and he still is. And you're just like, oh, I got the lump in my throat. Today, a lump in my throat. I don't care how many times I've seen this episode. It just makes you, makes you remember the legacy.
Ooh, yes, exactly. Exactly.
The legacy of Adam West.
Yes, exactly. So that's the way it ends. It's perfect way to end this episode. Like I said, this is like just one of those in the top 5, 100%. Yeah, you can nitpick some of this stuff, which we kind of, what we do on the stream, of course, when we're talking about these episodes. But it's always fun when we're watching as an adult and we kind of go like, well, little things like that. But at the same time, we love this episode. It's a great episode. And I don't know if there's really any more we could say about it. Do you have anything else, Scott? Callum? Anybody? Sounds like
Callum has thoughts. They just aren't very productive thoughts right now. I'm just saying that. I just know that we're about to have another hard. Yeah, I feel this way too about the episode we're going to watch next. Because next week is Prophecy of Doom.
Prophecy of Doom. I'm trying to remember which one that is.
It's the one. It's got the cult leader that's like a Nostradamus.
See the light. Yes.
Oh God, it's such a bad episode. I'm sorry. Yeah. I do not have fond memories of this episode.
It's not quality. It definitely isn't. I mean, and it's funny too because the guy kind of almost looks like Ra's al Ghul a little bit. Like he was like, you see him and like, even like revisiting, you're like, wait, that's not Ra's al Ghul. No, of course, no. But he kind of looks like Ra's a little bit. So you're kind of like, oh, interesting. But yeah, it's one of those kind of almost like throwaway type episodes or whatever. So, but we'll still, of course, discuss it and review it and do all the stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself. Looks like Callum enjoyed himself a little bit and getting a little fussy, but it's okay. Anything else you got to say about it, Scott?
No, I just, like I said, this is an incredible episode. Yeah. I will never get sick and tired of watching it. So much so that I didn't even have to watch it for today, but I did it anyway because how am I going to skip an opportunity to watch
this
Beware the Grey Ghost?
Man, it'd just be awesome too if they did some kind of I don't know, I don't know what they could do. Like you said, like that's why I asked about.
What they could do? A mini series that's in the great give me episodes of the Grey Ghost. Like
there you go. Something like that. Like, you see all those names of all the episodes when he's looking for them. It's like, do something with that or something like that. A comic book run. I don't know. It would be cool if it was something animated though. So anyways, guys, so we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. This was Beware the Grey Ghost, which is absolutely fantastic. Like we said, Prophecy of Doom, that'll be next week. And we'll probably most likely be at the same bat time on the same junkie channel. So Scott, go ahead and do your thing.
Of course, you can find me on Twitter, ScottDC27. You can find my podcast. Stop it. I got to do my thing, buddy. The DC Film Squad, that's where our podcast can be found because we are celebrating our 6-year anniversary this weekend. Congrats. So tune in, a very special episode. And then, of course, you can find us on Vero, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah,
and the entire network shows at squadcastmedia.com.
Oh man, Callum also, and you can follow Callum maybe later when like a decade or so from now. I mean, maybe when he's popular and doing his own podcast. Anyways, guys, you guys know what to do. Smash that like, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the join button. Become a member. There's also the Patreon and of course the Film Junkie Closet down below, which we'll soon, of course, have those fan-imated shirts. I just haven't gotten around to them yet, but I will. And hopefully you guys will check those out. And we will definitely see you guys next week on Batman the Fan-imated stream. And we'll talk to you later.